Yes, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Warzone Jones, right back at you. Anime topic video, and I'm talking about this really classic anime video, in my opinion, Street Fighter 2, the animated movie. Now, don't get this confused with the other Street Fighter movies that came out, the one with John Van Damme, The Legend of Chun-Li. Don't get this confused with those. This is the anime movie, the animated movie. This came out a while back, about 15 years ago. Came out around the mid-90s. This is a real good movie. Classic. It is a must-see for Street Fighter fans. So if you are a Street Fighter fan, you should see this movie because it's real good. It got some of the best Street Fighter characters ever. It is based off the Street Fighter 2 video game. All the Street Fighter 2 video game characters that are in the Street Fighter 2 video game are in this movie. Now, this is the uncut version I get, but from what I've seen from this version and the regular version, there really isn't too big of a difference, except there's probably a little bit more blood, I would say. It's just a little bit more blood. There's not really too big of a difference. But both, I would say, is must-see, whether it be the uncut or the regular. It doesn't matter. Get one of these versions, find a way to see it. This is a really good movie. Some of the characters that are in here, I'm just going to name some of the characters right off the bat. Ryu, Ken, the Hadouken guys. We all know those guys. Bison, Guile, Chun-Li, Vega, DJ. Some of the characters in here, like, not every character has a big role. Of course, there are just too many damn characters to have big roles for all of them, but pretty much every character, they at least show them in some form or fashion. So not every character is a main character, or rather I should say. But it's hard to do that because, well, like I said, it's just too many damn characters in Street Fighter. But the characters that they basically focus on is Ryu and Ken. Ryu and Ken is pretty much in every Street Fighter video game. They're the most popular characters in Street Fighter history. They just are. You can't do a Street Fighter without Ryu and Ken. Trust me, like, you just can't. At least that, in my opinion, you really just can't. So it's focused on those two guys. Bison comes across as a badass. Bison is a terrorist. We all know, like, Bison is a terrorist, basically trying to take over the world. He runs this terrorist group called Shadow Law. Bison, you can't beat Bison by yourself. If you fight Bison by yourself, you're going to get stumped. That's just how it is. You're going to get stumped into the ground. He'll smash it because Bison is just too damn powerful. So I like how he just came across as this unstoppable badass, this monster, which is the way a bad guy should come across. So Bison is basically looking for Ryu. Ryu is said to be like a legendary martial artist, a legendary street fighter. That's what they say in this. He's this legendary, powerful street fighter who has all this skill and ability. And guess what? Bison wants that. He wants that on his team. He wants that in Shadow Law. And Bison, he controls people. He gets some of the best street fighters in the world and takes their minds and mind wipe them. He controls them and have them do what he tells them to do. That's what Bison does. That's what he does for Shadow Law. So he's looking for Ryu so he can do that to him, so he can control him, but he can't find him. So what they do is they go to the next best thing, which will be Ken. Ken was supposed to be just as good as Ryu. Everything. Speed, strength, skill, it doesn't matter. Just as good as him. They find him easy because, well, Ken doesn't move all over the place like Ryu does. Like, they can't find Ryu because Ryu's just constantly moving. He's moving from city to city, country to country. He doesn't stay in the same spot. But Ken, he doesn't move around as much, so they can find him pretty easily. So once Bison finds Ken, well, they get into a fight, and Bison stomps him easily. He just stomps him real easy. And the fight didn't even last that long. You cannot fight Bison by yourself. That's just how it is. He's unstoppable. He's a badass. So once Ken gets captured, he does to him what he did to all the other bad guys who he had have working for him. I know he has Sagat working for him. He has Vega working for him. He had Cammy working for him. And he also had Balrog working for him. Like, he mind wiped all those guys. Those guys didn't volunteer for him. He made them. So he takes Ken, he mind controls him, and he has him fight Ryu towards the end. And there's also, like, all the fights in here, I would say, are pretty damn good. There's the fight between Vega and Chun-Li. Is a really, really, really good fight. It's probably the second best fight in this movie. Vega and Chun-Li have a really, really good fight. Vega is constantly slashing her, constantly giving her cut marks. But, Chun-Li, she does her thing in this movie. So Chun-Li, I had a lot of respect for Chun-Li. The way they did Chun-Li in this movie, they really did show her some jest. So really good fight scenes. So towards the end of the movie, there's a fight scene between Ryu and Ken. But, Ryu isn't really, he's holding back because, Ken isn't being himself. He knows he's being under control. So he sort of holds back, but as he's holding back, he's getting his ass whooped. So Ryu is getting his ass whooped by Ken. He's getting punched in the face. He's getting kicked in the face. He's getting knocked around. At some point, he does get Ken to realize that, hey, this isn't you. You're not being yourself. You're being controlled. He's making you fight me. Wake up. So eventually, Ken does wake up. And when he wakes up, Bison sees that and, Bison decides to thrash him to the ground. And then there was a fight between Ryu and Ken. And before that, Guile tried to fight Bison, but guess what happens? Bison gets, not Bison. Bison smashes him. Bison smashes Guile. Guile gets smashed pretty damn easily. So they sort of did Guile a little bogus, if you ask me. Like, they did him a little bogus. Like, he just got smashed too easy. He didn't even really do nothing. He didn't get no offense on. He tried to punch him, but Bison had dodged it. He tried to do his sonic boom, and Bison had dodged it. And then, Bison, when he does his offense, he basically blasts him one time. And then that was it for Guile. He got knocked down to the ground, but Guile never got back up. Oh, no, he never got back up. And it looked like Bison was going to finish him, but he didn't finish him. He just looked at him and laughed and just walked away. And Guile was on the ground saying, "Bastard, don't you turn your back on me." But he never got back up. So they did Guile a little bogus, if you ask me. They sort of made him look like a little punk. But hey, what can I say? And back when I was a kid, I thought that was a little weird because I used to watch the Street Fighter cartoon series, mini cartoon series that they had on the Cartoon Network back then, like around the mid-90s. And Guile was the man in that one, but he wasn't the man in this. Like, he wasn't. He just wasn't. But this is still a really, really, really good anime. You should see it. The fight between Ryu and Ken versus Bison. These guys had to work together to beat him. And, they did. They worked together. That was the only way they was going to beat him. If they didn't work together, they were going to lose. Because individually, you can't stand up to Bison. That's just how it is. And there was also a really good fight between Fei Long and Ryu. So that was a really good fight, too. There are a lot of good fights in this movie. This is a really good, energetic, action-packed fighting anime. Really good. So, if you're a Street Fighter fan, you should watch it. If you're an anime fan, just in general, you should watch it. This is a really good anime. So, get it, buy it, watch it, find a way to get it. This is Warzone Jones. That's my review. If you haven't done so, subscribe to my channel. You won't get a ticket if you click that subscribe button. So I'm out. Deuces.